Christine had asked me to get her holiday cards done today, but procrastination got the best of me, and I ran out of time to print the photo in the darkroom how I wanted. Instead, I decided to embrace our latest podcast episode, number 20, on being inspired by alternative and chemical processes, and I decided to take it a bit that way. First, I really wanted some organic brush strokes to apply to the photo. You can buy digital files online, but what's the fun in that? Instead, I just brushed some Cyanotype chemistry on watercolor paper, and I figured 4 different 5x7-ish sized rectangles would give me plenty of options. Once they were dry enough, I powered up the exposure box and tossed them in there for about 15 minutes. I'm just looking for brush strokes here that are dark enough to scan in and convert. Normally you wouldn't want to use these pages that are still damp, but because I had no negative or photogram object that could get damaged by the chemistry, I didn't care that they weren't perfectly dry. After exposure, I rinsed the pages in regular tap water. I was very heavy-handed with the chemistry, and a lot of the excess was coming off in the rinse baths. A few different rinses was necessary here, and I kept rinsing them in order until, when they were hanging, no more of the blue Cyanotype chemistry was dripping off the edges. After the pages weren't dripping Cyanotype chemistry anymore, I gave them each a little bath in hydrogen peroxide. This would oxidize and darken the Cyanotype chemistry, which would happen naturally if I would let them dry naturally, but since I was going to scan them before they were perfectly dry, I wanted to speed the process up a little bit. When the prints were dry enough to not destroy my scanner, they were scanned in one by one. I didn't worry about any fancy settings here. I wanted the paper to be white enough and the chemistry to be dark enough. As long as you can get clear lines between the pigment and the paper, this will work just fine. And as a side note, you don't need to even do this with an alternative process. If you have any kind of a painting, pigments, oil, watercolor, acrylic paint, whatever, you can do this the same way, scan them in, and then take it from here. Cleaning these up in your photo editor of choice is pretty easy. Here I'm flipping the page to a landscape orientation, adjusting the rotation, and then using the threshold feature to create an extremely hard edge between light and dark. This might be too harsh for you. You can easily adjust the level so that the pigment is black, the paper is white, and there are variations in between. I just wanted that very, very hard edge. Of course, this is your art. Create it how you like. Once I created that threshold, I went through and cleaned up any specks that got left behind, little white dots inside the pigmented area, or any dark dots outside the pigmented area. I wanted brush strokes here, and I wanted a randomness around the edge, but once you were inside or outside, I wanted everything to be clean. This is the photo in question, and I created 2 black and white tonal variations of the color photo. One is in blue and one is in brown. All I need to do is overlay these brush stroke pages, create a selection, and cut out each image. I want each image to have its own brush strokes as it would normally look in darkroom. You can also use layer masks here, which you'll need to do anyway if you don't have hard edges like I do by using threshold. After I've cut out each photo, they're toned with their respective colors and pasted together on a new 5x7 document. With the layers both selected, I push and pull them to fit the canvas, and then set the layer to multiply and adjust the opacity to my liking for each layer. I hope you liked this quick video on creating your own organic brush strokes to use in digital projects. Remember, you can make brush strokes by using paints as well. Many photographers also photograph or scan in interesting textures or other resources that they can use in their own work. If you'd like your own high-resolution copies of the brush strokes we made here in this video, they'll be over on our Patreon. For just $1 a month, you can download these files as well as get access to our videos and our podcast early. Plus lots of great experimental behind-the-scenes, darkroom posts and projects that will likely never see the light of day anyway. If you like this video, please give us a thumbs up and consider subscribing.